Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome back to the channel Messianic Me TV. And for today's video, I'm actually going to be responding to an email that I got from a subscriber. Which reminds me, if you guys have any questions or any topics that you would like for me to cover, definitely leave them in the comment section below and I will do my best to answer your questions or to create a video following the topic that you bring up. But before we go ahead and dig into today's video, if you guys are not yet part of the family, make sure you hit that subscribe button, as in this channel we cover things like Torah, Halakha, Jewish thought, and more. If you end up enjoying this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up because it really does help the video and the channel. And if you feel that the video is share worthy, make sure you share it with your friends and family. Alright guys, let's do it. Let's go. Alright, I'm gonna paraphrase right now, but basically the essence of the email was something like, how do you cope with being in a place where there are no other believers that are like-minded? Specifically for this believer is someone who is starting to discover the wonders of Torah and starting to walk according to what God established in His Word completely when there is no other Jews or any other Messianic believers around them. So what do you do? So to answer that question, I figured I should make this video because I'm in a very similar situation in which around me there's basically no other communities. There are some Jewish and Messianic Jewish communities in Japan, but they're very, very far away from me and it would be a hassle to even try to get there. I would have to move cities away. But that is not the end all be all. There is always a solution. So let me share my story with you. Alright, first off, the reason why I'm even in Japan was actually because this has always been a childhood dream of mine. I've always felt this pull to come over here, and I don't know if it was just the culture, the architecture, or something about it that just called to me since I was a very young kid. And praise be to the Almighty that I finally was able to accomplish this dream and now I'm here living in Japan. However, one of the downsides that I quickly discovered was the fact that there are no real Jewish communities around me. And while a lot of believers in the Jewish community might say, I don't want to move to a place like that because there's no community and community is important, I decided to take a different approach to this matter. And that approach was to be a light here where I am. As Yeshua HaMashiach said, we are called to be light in this world. And we are to let our good works shine before men so that the glory may be given to the Father in heaven. And if nobody brings the message to every part of the world, how can we expect a tikkun? So the reason why I was able to make it here was actually due to my job, which located me here in Japan, but I had no option of what specific location I would be placed in. But once here, I started looking and trying to see if I did find a community because of course I would want to. However, I had no luck and there was nothing around me. The plus side, however, was that there were other English-speaking people that were around me. So I seized the opportunity and I decided to share a little bit of my life. So while there was no synagogue or fellowship around me, what I decided to do was open the doors of my home. I started inviting people to come over to my house for Erev Shabbat and for Shabbat just to have a meal, to eat, and I would share with them my customs, my traditions, and the lifestyle that I live as a Messianic Jew. It was really awesome to see that while these people were actually non-believers, and I don't mean just not Messianic or not Jewish, I mean people that don't believe in God at all. They were at least willing to come and they would allow me to explain to them what I did and how I did it, for what reasons. And it became kind of a tradition that we did every week in which they would come over, I would share their prayers, I would tell them what I do, and they would learn this way. And they began to love it, and little by little more and more people started coming to my home. Through this actually is how I was able to meet my wife. The story on that I will share at another point. But it was just really beautiful to see that while there was no real community here, I was able to basically start a small one. But now I moved yet again. Luckily this time I'm not alone, I'm with my wife. She is a Jewish convert and a believer in Yeshua HaMashiach. And I'm able to share with her, and we actually do still invite people to our new home. But basically this is what I want to share with this story. That no matter where you are, even if there aren't people that don't believe how you believe, there is always an opportunity to share your life with others and share this very important part of who you and who I am. And that is people that believe in the Almighty God, creator of the universe, people that believe in the truth of His Torah, And if you're a Messianic Jew, a person who believes that Yeshua is Mashiach and you believe in this faith. And it doesn't need to turn into something where you're just badgering people or trying to fish people out to convince them to believe the way you believe, but just rather think of it as a cultural exchange. You would be amazed to believe the higher impact rate that something like that would have versus someone who is just badgering people over the head with Torah. And I know this to be true because back in the States, where there were plenty of Jewish communities and even Messianic communities, I noticed that in many places there was either slow growth or no growth in the community. And that was due to the fact that the believers in these specific communities would be way too harsh in their administration of the truth. And I'm putting it lightly, unfortunately, sometimes things can escalate. And if you are a social media person, I mean, you're watching this video, you probably have Facebook. I'm pretty sure most of you have seen how nasty conversations can turn when it comes to things about faith online. However, my goal here in this channel is not to bring division, and every time that I bring up a topic, I try to be as mindful as possible about the beliefs of others. And I want to be respectful while still bringing the truth in which I will not compromise. And the same goes for my personal life. Everyone around me, the friends that I've met here, and those people that end up coming to my home know that I live a specific way. Now, I'm not going to try to convince them or push them to believe the way I do or act the way I act, talk the way I talk, but I will let them know what I believe, why I believe it. If they ask questions, then that's a wonderful opportunity for me to share my story and to give them an understanding of why I live this way. And people are curious, they want to know, but they want to know more when they see you live it and when they see that you are just filled with shalom and love and compassion. We all know actions speak louder than words. This also reminds me of this wonderful experiences that I got to share with friends and other believers in the States when in Havdalah services, this is the services after Shabbat, in which we would go to brethren's homes. And in one specific home, I remember the head of the household would hand out candles to everyone at the end of Shabbat, and we would all light these little candles. He had a big window on the side of his house in which it would reflect, and he would say that while we are not God Himself, we are not fully perfect as He is, we still have the light of His Ruach HaKodesh with us. We have the light of His Torah. We have His Shalom, His love, His compassion. And when we're out in the world, we're shining that light. And while that single light might not cause so much impact, it does shine in the darkness. And when we get together, it's such a beautiful sight. So perhaps where you are right now, you might be that single candle, but you could also light wicks around you by living the truth and creating more candles to be lit. I hope this video serves as an inspiration for those of you out there who perhaps don't have a community. Maybe you're new to the faith. Maybe everyone around you is a non-believer or a Christian that doesn't believe in Torah, or maybe people from other faiths. But I want to encourage you to remember the fact that wherever we are called to be lights in this world. This world is not the prettiest at times, but you can make it so much better by shining with the light of Elohim. So wherever you are, be strong and of good courage. Don't be ashamed to live the way that you know is right according to the Torah of God. And also don't forget the importance of fellowship. So while there may not be a community, invite friends, invite family. Let them know that you're not trying to convert them or change their minds, but you just want to genuinely spend time with them and share something that you hold dear to you. I guarantee you this is going to make you a lot happier, and you will feel way more joyful when you get to spend Shabbat with someone else, when you get to study with other brothers and sisters, and when you perhaps are able to impact someone to the point in which they want to turn to the ways of God and live this lifestyle of Torah and proper halakha. Alright guys, if you enjoyed this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great week. Shalom.